Hi, Rachel.
Hey, are you ready for this?
No, but I have done so many things out of my comfort zone these past few months. What the hell is one more?
Exactly.
I thank you so much for this. Fire away. I'm ready.
So first, we should probably talk about who you are. So who are you? Like, what is your business name? In general, who are you?
I'm Linda Shuler. I started my own bookkeeping business officially in May or June. It's called Shuler's Bookkeeping Services, LLC. I had this idea probably back in 21 to teach me the software. I've had 20 years of bookkeeping experience, 10 on desktop and 10 online. I decided at the first of 22 that I wasn't happy working a 9-to-5 job. I wanted to work for myself and put the effort that I put into a company that earns them money. I wanted that money to come to me. So I decided to go for it. And also at the same time, I moved to another state. And here I am in North Carolina.
I totally get that. So you're in North Carolina, but you would take on clients across the US, right?
Oh, yeah. I go to Virginia, where I lived for 23 years before I moved here. So I go to Virginia every couple of 3 months. I have friends there, and I like that state. I like Virginia, but the traffic and the commute was what got me. But I do go there. So, yes, I can work remote from any state. And I like that. I like that I can take on clients anywhere, not just where I live.
So before this call, you sent over your resume, and I realized that you're a really patient person because nobody who's not patient can manage 75 employees. And I saw that and I'm like, I don't know how she does it. So I recognize that, like, in the bookkeeping role, you're not going to be managing a bunch of people, but I bet there's some amazing transferable skills.
Well, I got into medical field, honestly, like 30 years ago. I happened upon a job and I started at front desk and decided I wanted to do billing. So for the next 30 some years, that's what I did. And I was in orthopedics for 20 years. I managed 2 practices, one for 10 years, the other one for 12. So that's where I learned QuickBooks, payroll, managing how to work with people. And I don't know if anybody knows much about the medical field, but if you could work for doctors, make them happy, then you could make the world happy. That's where I learned my management skills. And the last job I had up until last year, it was 3 locations, 2 PT divisions, 9 doctors, and I managed all of that by myself. I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot about people, just the expectations. And I also learned how to give my best, my 100%, because I loved making my practice or the practice successful, save them money. It's where I learned my core values over these past 20 some years. To do a good job, do it well, and to be successful and help my employers be successful and save money. And now that's me. I am my own.
You are going to be the recipient of your good skills.
Yes, I am. And I apply them, and the clients I have are happy. And that's what I want. I want to make my clients know that they can depend on me. And even if they don't ask me to do something, that I'm going to do it for them. I'm going to look beyond, just what's in front of me. And I've been very successful in saving and finding lost monies for my current or my past jobs. But that's the same principle I'll apply to my clients going forward.
Can you give us an example? Something, having had experience with business and life and all this, situations where people are spending money and maybe don't realize it.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, my last job. Okay, I'll give you, for instance, I noticed, like, we had a software company or an EMR system, electronic medical record system, that they had many years before I started with them 12 years ago. And it took me only a couple of months to, I did the accounts payable and the receivables. And I noticed that the invoice that they sent out every month, like clockwork, and it was paid, that the number of users did not match. So I started calling, inquiring. We don't have this many users. And I found out it had been going on for years. And I got them a $15,000 credit because they did acknowledge they had been overcharging for many years. I also did that with the postage online people. When I left there in March of 22, that company was not going to have to pay postage for several years because they had overpaid and had been overcharged. So I could give you a lot of examples, but I do like to look at how somebody has been billed over the years, especially if it's the same amount every month, no change. Yeah, I saved them thousands of dollars. They even got to the point where one of the doctors, the owners, came to me and said, going forward, if you can find ways that will really save us money, we'll give you a 10% of what you save.
Nice.
Yeah, I made some money.
You're like, this is win-win.
It was. And I love that. I love being able to take years of invoices, money, QuickBooks. And I think I developed my love of numbers and balancing. My very first job in the real world was in banking. I was in banking for 7 years. That carried me forward to medicine. So medical and banking are the only two things I've ever done in my life. Been happy with it.
We just covered about 40 things that you do, and we haven't even covered most of the things I highlighted on your resume.
If I'm happy in a job and I do it well, I stay there. So yeah, in 22 years, I had 2 jobs. So I learned a lot of how to help a business make profits by looking for errors and managing people. And even though I work, like now I'm my own boss, you still have to have people skills because I am going to have to work with clients and their staff. And that's something I do very well. I've had a lot of past employees that I haven't worked with for 10 years, and they still reach out to me to say, hi, Linda, how you doing? Merry Christmas, happy birthday. Quite a few have said, you're the best manager I ever had. That's something I take a lot of pride in. I really do.
You totally should. What I hear with this is you're not going to commit to this career of bookkeeping or professionally bookkeeping and then walk away from it because you're like, no, I don't walk away from anything. Do you see my resume? 2 jobs, this many years. The other thing is that people like you. I like you, which is why we're here. But in general, people are sometimes uncomfortable to admit that they need a bookkeeper. And then they're uncomfortable to let the bookkeeper see just how messy things are.
Right. Simple things, a simple category like office supplies. That was the other thing I did on the last job. They were getting everything from a major company. And just one day, this guy happened to come in and he was just saying, hey, we've started this new company. I can save you this much money on supplies. So I ordered supplies from him for the next 8 years. We saved my company a lot of money. You have to give new ideas a chance and you have to be open, really listen to people, and then do a comparison from last year to this year. Look for discrepancies or major increases in one category that shouldn't be there. There's a lot to being a bookkeeper. It's not just downloading transactions and then reconciling. It's a lot of, paying attention to numbers and what looks off. I'm just not going to do these 2 or 3 items and call it, the month's done. I want to look further. I want to save money. I want you to save money and time. Time is the big factor too. Spending more time with family because they're not sitting and trying to reconcile 6 months of QuickBooks. That's what I like to do.
Exactly. So you had mentioned one of your roles was to take care of the payroll for the company. Mm-hmm. Payroll is weird and complicated and overwhelming for people. So 1, huge kudos, and 2, what software did you use?
Well, my last job, I used ADP. I think the challenge for me, and I can't vouch for everybody out there that's done bookkeeping, was when it came to doing payroll and having employees to turn in their time. It's the same. You make sure your employees are paid. They're paid correctly. Benefits are deducted. As long as the employee gets their pay and their payroll is there and they're happy, then that's what it's all about. To me, I think the different companies, it's the same principle: payroll, taxes, benefits, deductions. I love payroll. It's just numbers. I love doing it.
I have a couple of videos on YouTube kind of explaining how payroll works for the journal entries and the debits and credits. And a common question is, how do I address the deductions and how do I handle the benefits? And you're like, oh, I'm old hat at this. I got that. So anybody who's considering working with you, they know that you're not going to be learning how to do that. Like, you already know it. You can already visualize this money gets deducted and then it gets turned in. And you have systems in place, like in your head, in your paperwork, and your workflow, to make sure that nothing gets missed. When people come and go, that gets corrected in the payroll system.
Oh, yeah. I entered new employees. I, canceled or terminated old employees. I made sure that, the Fed and state and taxes, all that was accurate according to the payroll records. There were some times when I actually did electronic funds transfer. I paid the taxes myself. But when I started my business, I knew that payroll is an important factor. Even though I know payroll, I wanted my certification through Pro Advisor to show that I do know payroll, and I'm very aware of the complications it could be, but it's something I enjoyed. I do like the numbers part. I've done that again for 22 years, both of my last two jobs.
That's one of us. Like, I don't mind it, but that chasing people down for their time cards, that's why I don't do payroll. I'm not going to beg someone to let me pay them.
Well, it's just one of my clients. He's a sole proprietor, but he was being paid by his accountant by a paper check.
Oh.
And when I took him on, I could not understand it because he also had QuickBooks Payroll. And QuickBooks Payroll is easy. They pay your taxes. They do everything. So one of the first things I did with him was set him up for direct deposit. I mean, he was so happy that he didn't have to print checks out for himself because his accountant had left him like 9 months prior. And the poor man was printing paper checks. He's so happy now that he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to worry about anything because I watch that, I monitor that, make sure QuickBooks pays his taxes, and QuickBooks Payroll is a good program. I really like it.
It's great. It sets you apart. You're totally aware of the challenges, totally comfortable with it, and have apparently a way to get people to get motivated to send you their time.
I'm a very people person, and I think that is the only thing about working remotely that I miss. I feel their problems, and I've always become friends with people that I work with because I care about them. I think you need that connection with people. You want them to trust you with their personal life, their personal information, their business. You have to have that kind of connection. Last job interview I went on, I was asked what sets you apart from other people. And I said, I had this open door policy. And I had it the whole time I've ever managed. My door's open. It would drive me crazy at times. I'd be in there trying to balance something and somebody come in and start complaining about problem in the lunchroom. But I still had that policy, always open door. I'm here for you. That's one of the things I've always taken pride in.
Yeah, you would be a fun person to work with.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to make you feel bad. If you need something, come to me. And I think that's going to translate to your clients. So on your LinkedIn, you noted that you provide consultative advice. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because most bookkeepers aren't providing extra advice.
Yeah, I do give a free 30 minutes or however long it takes consultation for a first time. Because when you meet somebody, it's going to take a little time to establish a rapport where they feel like they can trust you. I offer a consultation where if you send me a link to your QuickBooks, I will be happy to spend whatever it takes to look at what's going on in your business, what things maybe don't look right, or if you have negatives where there shouldn't be a negative, and then to make notes and let you know, this is what I found, and these are the issues that you need to address or things that need to be investigated. I love to teach what I know about QuickBooks, and that's one of the things that over the years I've helped people that I've worked with. I've always had this thing where it's like I will tell people, if you ever want to learn QuickBooks, be able to add something to your resume for the future that'll help you grow, I'm happy to teach you. I did that in my last job for so many people, had been there for years, but they would say, but I don't know much more than this. And it's like, let me teach you QuickBooks. You'll love it. It's fun. Of course, not everybody believe me, but yeah, I like teaching. I will be there to give advice, to help train, employees of the client, because if they make less mistakes, then their books are better and it saves them money and it's less time. I'm all for that. I'm all for support.
I think the recurring theme that I'm hearing is you want to provide support so that everybody's better. Like the company is better because they've saved money. You're like, we're here, we're going to do the thing and we're going to get the thing done. But in addition to that, what can I do to leave our relationship better than I found it, your business better than I found it? I'm like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's good. That's what I want. I want that kind of connection, a personal touch. It's not just about money and contracts and business. It's about people and their livelihood. It's just like my business. I want to grow my business and I want to be successful at it. I don't just see it as money in my checking account, or a way to pay bills. This is going to be my life, my happiness, my source of happiness for many years to come. And this is what I want to do. I have friends that say, I want to retire when I'm 65 and that's it. And I want to retire when I can't function anymore. I don't care if it's 65, 85. I want to do something that makes me happy and that I'm good at.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's ever perfect. And I continue to grow. And my business and me will get better every year, every month. I want to get better. Because I could sit now, honestly, thinking about where I was 4 months ago, and I'm just roads ahead. I am very satisfied with progress I've made and, where I am. Don't know if that makes much sense.
No, it doesn't have to make sense. It's inspiring. You're like, every month I'm going to get better. I'm going to continue to try and to do and to learn. So I know you've done the Pro Advisor stuff, but like, what else have you been doing? Is there like a course that you've gone through? YouTube channel? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm learning everywhere. If there's anybody else who's new that's listening, point us in a direction of a thing that you love.
Honestly, one of the things that I love the most is LinkedIn Learning. If you're a member of LinkedIn, they have so many training programs that are free. I mean, when I went to Virginia for Thanksgiving, I sit and completed one of their courses on QuickBooks. And even though you might know QuickBooks, if you do a whole course from beginning to end, like they're teaching, you're a newbie. And I did that whole course, and there was little things that I learned that I didn't know. YouTube, there's several people that I follow. Your Gentle Frog is one of them. There's so many good groups on Facebook of people that are in the same stage I am, or they've been doing it 20 years. And it's where you can put out questions. And it's very uplifting because I do run across every day almost. There's newbies. Hey, I'm just starting out. I just got my basic certification. And I think it's great to reach out and say, congratulations, that's awesome. Don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself. You will be successful because there are people, and I think I was one of them probably in the very beginning where, you're, oh my God, what did I do? Scared. Did I make the right decision? And just to have people, though, that will come back and say, yes, you did. You got to get out of your comfort zone. If you sit back, and that's what I did for so many years, if you sit back and work for somebody else, yes, you have a steady paycheck, but other than maybe small things here and there, you're stuck. You're not learning. You're not progressing. You're not moving forward. And that's why I did what I did. It's why I moved to another state, quit my 9-to-5 job, and I'm learning a whole new life. And it's been scary. I mean, there's been days where just like people on these groups post, it's like, what the heck did I do? But then the very next day, it's like, I'm so blessed. I'm blessed because I meet great people and I have a chance for a better life. That's what I want. QuickBooks themselves, Intuit or QuickBooks, they do little videos. Most of them are around 3 to 6 minutes. But if you want to know how to apply payments to open invoices or something like that, all you have to do is search for it. There it is. There's a lot of knowledge out there.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to name names. So Facebook groups that I love Bookkeeping Side Hustle and 5-Minute Bookkeeper, which I think might be Veronica Waseks. Those are the two that I spend probably the most time keeping an eye on, either liking posts or cheering people on or answering the occasional question. I like the vibe of them. I like they're moderated, they're uplifting, they're not overly salesy. Yeah, those are my two. And then for YouTube, I like the stuff that Seth David puts out. He's Nerd Enterprises. And I like the stuff that Hector Garcia puts out.
Oh, I love Hector.
right? Like there's so much good stuff. And so whenever people are like, oh, what should I look at? I'm like, well, look at my stuff, but also here's some other stuff to look at.
There's one person I started watching in the very beginning. First name is Morgan. I think her business is Fine Points Biz, something along that line. She's been a bookkeeper for several years, started out, just wanting to do something part-time. And then there's Zach Pasquarello. He's been a bookkeeper for 3 years, been really successful. He's pretty tough. I mean, he's like just this, he just jumps in 100%. And I like him. I have a lot of his stuff saved. But yes, Hector, I think is amazing. And there's another guy, I know his last name is Kumara. He goes in such detail and takes his time and to explain. I mean, his videos they could be anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes long to teach you how to do things. And the side hustle, she's got red hair. What is
Bookkeeping side hustle. It's Kate Josephine Johnson.
I've watched her on interviews. She did an interview with Bill Bonfumetti, and I watched that. I don't like to just sit and do nothing. So if my clients are caught up, I'm YouTubing something. I have stacks and folders of printouts and the debits and the credits and how to keep that straight in my mind. There's a lot of good people out there. You can't just rely on one person to learn everything.
I think I now understand how you're getting better each month. You're like, oh yes, here's my top 15 places to learn stuff. Oh my gosh.
I do. I didn't mention, I know you like Margie Rimmers too, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I like her Fast and Easy QBO.
That woman is amazing. Are you going to be part of her cleanup course she's coming out with in January?
I'm doing my own cleanup course.
Oh, really?
Yeah, most of the time we don't talk about my stuff, but yeah, I'm more than halfway done with it. I'll be done by the end of the year.
Oh, well then, and then the other thing that she's doing a client match. Do you know about that?
I know that she's got the thing where the people in the gym earn points and then employers can go look through a directory of people.
Yeah, she's created this. When you access the gym through that site, it points and it shows potential clients where you're good at.
Yeah.
So, you're a client, you're looking for a bookkeeper. I mean, how the heck do you two connect? I mean, that's where part of my frustration is. It's like, you create your Pro Advisor and your LinkedIn and your Facebook, and you will not have to worry about clients. Well, hello. I've had my Pro Advisor up. Well, that's where I found my second client. I'm happy about that. But I work that stuff every day. I'm going to get on Craigslist, I think, next and advertise.
So I got my first client.
And that's how you found your first one?
Yeah. I got no problems with Craigslist. It's just one more place to put your stuff out in the world. You're just as likely to get good and bad from there as anywhere else.
Honestly, out of all the people that I listen to and watch their YouTubes, most of them don't have good things to say about Craigslist. It's like it's outdated. That was popular decades ago.
Yeah, I'm going to say that we're both people who are over 40 and we're totally comfortable with Craigslist. And I'm totally comfortable working with someone who is also over 40. This is the platform that they know. It doesn't matter to me that it's outdated. That means that the 20-year-old down the street isn't going to look for my ad on Craigslist. An established business owner might look for my ad and find my ad. I'm okay with this.
And you think about it that way, like you said, over 40, hopefully the over 40 people might be the ones that have established businesses. And hey, my bookkeeper just walked out. I want to go to Craigslist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't cost anything. Some things cost money, but the last time I posted it in Gigs Offered, it didn't cost.
Girl, I wish I could remember her name. It's within the past year, she recorded it. She talked about this one feature. She said it used to be free, but now I think it's like $5 a month. You can't go wrong on $5 a month. I'm definitely going to go in and do that. I'm open to any suggestions on where to look, where to go, possible new clients.
Yeah, it's tough. Getting to know people helps. Because people refer people. So both bookkeepers referring people, business owners referring people, and nobody has the secret sauce. My approach is just the shotgun effect. I'm going to try all the things and see what works. Because what works could be dependent on your location and your personality, what you're looking for and what you're willing to do. Like you're totally willing to have long, warm and fuzzy conversations with your clients. I'm not. Just is not my jam. So, but I think it's great. I'm like, lean into it because the people who need and want that, they'll be attracted and they'll be like, yes, this is the personality match for me.
I was really beginning to beat myself up thinking, oh my God, Linda, you've had your business for 3 months.
Right.
You should be where you want to be. And so I read positive quotes and I have post-its in my kitchen so that when I'm feeling like I'm really expecting myself to be someplace that it's not realistic to be. I mean, overnight, you don't learn everything overnight. Reading that quote that right now I'm during that year of growing and I'm willing to downgrade my lifestyle for a year to have the lifestyle I want forever. Ever since I saw that last week, every day, I've not beat myself up. I've not expected more than what is obtainable. If I was trying to give my friend advice on how to do something, I wouldn't look at them and go, oh my God, you've been doing this for 3 months. What are you doing? Why are you not successful? I need to project that at myself. I need to be my own best friend, to not be so critical and hard on myself and give yourself the advice that you would give your best girlfriend or, anybody.
Exactly. It's got to be different because you were so good at what you were doing for so many years. And now what you're doing is something you're comfortable with, but it's different. So there's a period of pivot and adjustment and finding your new groove.
And that one day I'm hard on myself, but then the next morning it's like 7:00 and I'm not waking up to an alarm. I'm my own boss.
No.
And it's weird. I still have that employee mentality that if I don't work on Wednesday, I feel like I'm playing hooky.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever feel that way? I mean, it's like, oh my God, it's a Wednesday and I'm not working. And then I don't mind making up for the day on Sunday. It's great being your own boss.
Yeah, it is.
Say, that's another thing I got to get out of the habit of saying. It's not I think or I wish, I will. Such a different mindset,
So can you tell me what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Well, I have all my information on LinkedIn. I have a basic Facebook right now. I do have somebody working on a business, but I am on Facebook. You can reach me there. I have a website. If you just look under Shuler's Bookkeeping Services, my email is there. My phone number is there, especially on LinkedIn, has all of my information. You can message me through there. Pick up a phone and call my number. I answer my phone. If I miss it, I always return messages. So I'm easy to get a hold of. Any way that works for you works for me.
I like it.
Or as Marilyn would say, I'm not easy, but I can be had. I ran across this one I love again, and it's, may the best of your past be the worst of your future.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.